Hello, I've been working on this. It's the top of the range of Betamax video recorders ever sold in the UK. It's a SL-HF950 from Sony SuperBeta hi-fi video recorder. And it came in with so many faults, it was unreal. The ones that are outstanding are, in no particular order, when it slides this out and lifts the tape, lifts the carriage, the motor keeps running, it doesn't stop, and then when it goes back in it jams and it's generally struggling. I've fixed the major fault in the sled mechanism, which is a broken rail, so at least it goes in and out now, but it's still not working quite right. Additionally, when it does eject, sometimes it leaves a loop of tape and it's struggling with fast forward and rewind, implying there's some sort of reel drive problem. Electronically, the most serious problem we have is that the Capstan servo is not locked. So the picture's rolling, the tracking control does nothing, and the tape speed is not properly controlled. Additionally, there are smaller problems, such as in freeze frame and slow motion, the colour is somewhat shifted to the left and just doesn't look right at all, and the LEDs in the VU meter have failed, as is extremely common with this model. So there is a lot to do. I think I'm going to start with the problem of not being able to get the tape in and out properly, because of course we can't work on it properly if it keeps damaging tapes and getting stuck. So let's start there. But it's when I then hit eject and it comes out the rest of the way, does the unlace, and is not detecting that it's completed that. I've been having a problem with this, that when it ejects it carries on driving too long, and I thought it was something to do with the PCB here at the end of the motor that drives the skate in and out. But no, the connector there, which goes to this cable, is to detect whether or not the carriage is up. That's not relevant. What's relevant in this case is detecting whether it's come all the way forward. We'll do it by hand here, and it should be, now that it works its way, has worked out that it's forward because of this micro switch. I need to test this micro switch and the wiring associated with it. Right, looking at the skate switches, it's quite difficult to work out how this is supposed to work. That's ground, okay, so I've got a terminal on the ground there. Right, and we've got, according to the schematics, after the ground pin is skate out and then skate in. And the skate in one is met. If I pull the carriage out a bit, let's see if I can get that in shot. Pull the skate out. Then, okay, so the pin 2 skate out is open until it leaves the home position, and skate in stays closed. Right, and as we leave the home position, that makes, and then as we come out to, I think we're around here, is the open position for looking at the tape. We should see, there we are, about there, the first switch, and you can hear the switch, opens, but this remains closed. And then keep going, and then at the outermost position, that skate out goes open again. And so there's the switch, and that's working reliably. So why is it overdriving when it's arrived at the out position? When we close it, it does switch off on the in position. So it is detecting that switch, otherwise it would overdrive in as well as out. So it's not clear to me why it's overdriving out. Maybe it's not seeing this rise and it thinks it needs to drive more to make that rise. Okay, so let's take it out. fully. Right. Now the contacts for this come in on this black wire here, and that's SK up. So again we'll have pin 1 as ground. Is that one? Yes. And then we've got pin 2 and 3, which should be up 1 and up 2. So what's up 1 and up 2? Well, they're both presently open circuit. And if we lift this, get it fully out, now this is the point. It's not working properly, isn't it? So there, neither of those are operating, even when it's fully up. So that's the motor we can hear. It's this one, and it's because it's not detecting the up position. So in fact, I was right when I first said it's not the micro switches, it's this PCB here that's not giving us our raised operation. So we need to take this off again, unfortunately, and look at the PCB that does the, it's like a little sort of rotary switch, and the one that's supposed to detect when this is open. I'm just trying to think whether that'd be easier done with this open or closed. Perhaps open. So let's take this off again, take this assembly off, and have a look at this PCB and the actuators that are in there for the switches. So we need to look at the switches in here. So we can see some tracks on here, and there are presumably slider contacts in here. How do I get to that? I don't know. Does it just slide off? No. What's holding this in place? I think I can see the slide contacts in there, just about. And they're definitely not making contact with the circuit board. This needs to come off. If I take this circuit off, I don't think that's going to help. Did that without losing it, that's good. We can take that off. Okay, there's a small tube there, and here are the contacts, and it's all broken free. So that's why that's not working. This is supposed to be sat down there, and can you see this is all broken free? So, okay, well we understand why that doesn't work. I'll look at that under a microscope and decide how I'm going to refit it. So we can see what's happened here. The whole contact set has broken free. The original sort of blobs of melted plastic have let go. So I just need to line it up carefully with the original blob holes like that, and then glue it in place with epoxy resin, and that should be good to go.
Okay, that's repaired, but I do wonder if it slid that way a little bit, because I think it's closer at this end than it is at this, to the edge. So the pins will be, the wiper contacts will be skewed by maybe 1 millimeter or something in that direction. I doubt it'll matter, but it's not quite the way I'd have liked it. Okay, let's reassemble this. Oh, something else, of course. Clean up these contacts. So here's where we find out if we can tell it to go to the eject position and it will stop driving at the end. So first the open close, correct, and now eject. And now open close again. That's a lot better.
Now, while I'm really pleased that that's opening and closing perfectly, I bet it still gets stuck when we put a tape in. We'll see. Oh no, it's even doing that. Oh, great stuff. By coincidence, I'm sure the rewind sounds a little bit happier too. Okay, so now we can get on with some of the more serious problems, especially the lack of servo lock. So, Scott, I'd like to change tape in this machine. So, I think you press the eject button, which is on the top left edge. Take the tape out. And then press play. On the...
Oh, up here.
Yeah. Isn't that an amazing piece of technology? Oh. It wasn't supposed to do that.
You just kind of gave up.
Just kind of gave up. Not sure what that was about.
Sounds a
Thank you, Scott. We've found another fault.
Sounds a bit sad.
I don't think it's going to work.
Just look at it.
It's not happy about something. No.
Oh, do you have to power cycle it?
Yeah, we might have to, but...
I'm just trying to see what it's doing.
That looks okay until you hit play, and then it
starts it. Okay.
yeah, spins ahead, and now press play.
And then you press play. And it starts spinning a thingy.
Yeah, the supply spool, the take-up spool's not rotating. That's why we've got a problem with this spool.
I see.
So, more faults to fix. Thank you, Scott.
You have fun with that.
Okay, what am I doing now? I have signal generators hooked up to the input and the test signal coming through on the TV. What, so that I can test the VU meter LEDs? I mean, you know, I've got a priority here. I've got a broken servo, Capstan servo to fix. So why am I messing about with the LEDs? Well, I'll explain in a minute. Firstly, let's have a look at the VU meter LEDs. So left channel, bit crackly. Yeah, we have one LED out. On the HF950, that could only happen if the LED is short circuit, not open circuit. If it's open circuit, it would take out 3 LEDs, potentially. Okay, so we have at least one LED out. And the right channel, oh yeah, that behaves like the SL-HF950. They're in groups of 3. And the reds aren't working either. So, yes, we have to fix the VU meters. Oh, I must apologise that when I was doing a similar setup with the SL-HF900 the other day, I'd powered cycled the signal generator and it defaulted to 10 kilohertz, and I hadn't noticed, and a lot of you guys whose hearing is better than mine now complained that there was a horrendous 10 kilohertz whistle, and I hadn't spotted it. So, whoops. Right, so we know we've got bad VU meters, and that's a bit of work. But why am I messing about with this when we've got the serious problem of the Capstan servo not working? Well, the answer is I want to see if this can make a valid recording, because in the record mode you're using some different parts of the servo system. For example, you're not picking up pulses from the head at all, from the control head. Now, we already know the control head's working because we've seen the amplified output square pulses from that in my last video. But I thought if I make a test recording, see if that's good or not, we can learn more, possibly, about where the fault is in the Capstan servo. So let's record a bit of this. Okay, I will leave that recording for a while, then I'll come back and play that on this machine and also on something like an SL-HF950 downstairs, and we'll see if the Capstan servo is working properly in the record mode. Okay, I've rewound it. First thing is, what does it play back like on itself? Oh, interesting. Sort of very, very slow loss. Oh, is it? Oh, it's, it's almost there. It's very, very close to being servo locked, but it's just drifting out. I'm sure the tracking control will make no difference at all. Let's try it. When it's servo locked, I'll swing the tracking from one end to the other, see if it does anything at all. No, nothing at all. Okay, nothing at all. So we still have no servo lock at all. But what we need to do now is try that on a known good machine. So I will show on screen in a moment what happens when we capture a bit of this video from an SL-HF950 downstairs in my studio. Okay, so this tape, which was recorded on this machine using this equipment, does not play properly on a known good machine. It suffers from a very slow drifting of the Capstan signal, so the noise bars roll through the screen very slowly. Right, had it worked, that might have helped us. Had that played properly, that would have helped us to eliminate part of the Capstan control circuits. But the fact it didn't doesn't quite help so much. Okay, we'll put that to one side. There are just a few oscillograms we can get from the Capstan control circuit, so we'll do that in a minute. But fundamentally, we still had this problem around that diode, which is kind of the output from the Capstan control circuit, that the voltages indicated on the manual were just meaningless. There couldn't possibly be. There was a voltage about 4 volts across a diode, which just isn't true. So Mr. BetaByte came to the rescue.
Hi Colin, so let's check those voltages. So first of all, the diode. So on the, make sure I'm getting this the right way round, the anode. I'm getting 2.7 volts, which actually sort of makes sense. Certainly not 6.5 volts that the manual incorrectly shows. And then cathode, I'm getting 2.1516. So obviously the Capstan there varying, I assume. And then on IC307, pin 5, it's 1.4 volts. You can see that fluctuating with Capstan drive. And then pin 6, it's 1.42-ish. So, and this is on a fully working machine. This is actually one that will be on the channel. So, yeah, it's got a bad picture. So, yeah, but I hope that helps. Thanks and cheers for now.
So now we know that the voltages we're reading, though they differ a bit from what Mr. BetaByte sees on his working machine, they don't differ by very much. Something I would like to try. There's one particular preset control. It's RV302. It's marked up CFS, which means Capstan Free Speed. Oh, good. If I adjust that very slightly, it's not because I want to move it, it's not because I don't think it's in the right place, but I need to see how it responds. Does the tape speed change if I alter the Capstan free speed. If it does, and I suspect it will, it eliminates everything pretty much from this IC, IC301, onwards. It means that the drive from this IC out to the Capstan is working properly, and our problems are further back in the AC waveforms. So let's do that, but I'm going to have to mark up where it is because I don't think it's in the wrong place. I don't think the Capstan free speed is going too fast or slow, but we need to see if it moves when I adjust that control. We're not going to do any more recordings right now, so I'll get rid of this equipment. Right, let's start by loading the tape, which at least that's working properly now. Rewind it a little. Right, RV302 is here. So I'm just going to mark up somehow where it is. I'll use a marker pen of some sort. Okay. So I have a mark between the frame and the adjuster at the top. We'll press play. You can see that it's rolling. If I adjust that to speed it up or slow it down very slightly, will the machine speed up and slow down very slightly? I think it will. No. Oh look, no it is. It's reduced the rolling. And if I take it back, it's more. Do you know? I think that might be out. I think it may just be that the freewheel speed is too far off. That's where it was. And if I go all the way clockwise, it's almost at the right speed, but not quite. And if I go fully clockwise, anti-clockwise rather, it's miles out. It should be that in the unlocked condition, for example, if you unplug the audio control head, that this control should go from too fast to too slow, and that's not the case. It appears to be always too slow, I believe. Aha! That's interesting. So it could be that it's so far out of its freewheel speed that the Capstan control circuit can't bring it in. So if I unplug the head contacts here, I'll just prove that in a completely unlocked condition that I cannot get it to closely match the correct speed. So that's CN306 white. It should be a 2-pin plug. So I'll unplug the audio control head completely. No such machine would ever track in these conditions. Oh, it's muting the picture. Oh, that's a bit unfortunate. Because there's no control pulses, it's totally muting the picture. Oh, that didn't work then, did it? That idea didn't work. But it does feel like we can't get the Capstan fast enough. So we can go too slow. I think that's slow, not fast. How could we tell? We need a clock on it, really. Yes, if I had a tape with a clock on it, that might help. Okay, so we need to look at some of the voltages in that area. We already last week looked at this control pulse signal from the head after it had gone through this amplifier, but I hadn't looked at this signal. So there's a couple of signals to pick up around IC302, which is that one, and then let's look at some more signals around IC301, which is this one here. That signal on IC302 pin 27 it says peak to peak should be about 640 millivolts, and I'm seeing probably a little less than that. You can see that it's 100 millivolt peak to peak, so I'm seeing about 400 millivolt peak to peak, and this is AC coupled, by the way. Big enough to make a difference? Don't know. It's certainly drifting everywhere. Right, I think that's the correct wavelength, because we're getting about 40 milliseconds wavelength, and the signal height, well, it's not quite what it should be, but it's not that far off. Let's have a look. About 458 millivolts, and it says it should be about 600 something. Difficult to know if that's the problem. And we looked at this signal the other day, which is TP308, or the output from this IC on pin 13. The schematic has more mistakes in it. It's same period, although it says 2 volts for the waveform length. Oh dear. And it says we should get 3.6 volts peak to peak. Let's check that. Looks about right. Looks about right, yes. So that's the correct waveform. So I'm starting to feel that the control head amplifier IC is not at fault, and that our problem is over here with the the DC voltages, or not waveforms, which drive the Capstan servo amplifier. That takes us back to these voltages, which are the ones that Mr. BetaByte read for us. I'm going to adjust that freewheel again and look at the voltage on the output of IC307. So I'm getting 1.17 volts, I believe. Yes, can you see that? On pins 5 and 6 of IC307. If I adjust the freewheel speed, it doesn't alter very much. And the output, I was getting 3 volts, and Mr. BetaByte was seeing a little bit less than that. And no, the freewheel speed is not altering that. I've unplugged the control head, and again, the freewheel speed is not altering the output from that IC307. Okay, so where have we got to? Well, we've fixed the carriage and sled problems completely. I'm 100% happy with that. We've done a lot of investigation into the Capstan servo, but we haven't really worked out exactly how to solve that problem. So that's a deep problem, and we need to fix that. Now, I will tell you that since recording the material you've seen so far, I've done a little bit more work on some of the other aspects with some mixed results. So I've had a bit of time looking at the deck itself and the real drive and the VU meters, and I'll talk about them next week because this video is long enough at the moment already. So I need some inspiration really around the Capstan servo. That is kind of the elephant in the room. Anything else I fix is secondary to that because the machine just won't work until I've solved that problem. Okay, I'll do plenty more content and I will hopefully see you shortly, but hold on until the end of the outro because I have a little bit of news and discussion with you about something else. Bye for now. Okay, so a little chat with you, those of you who stuck with me. As you may know, I own a 1972 Hillman Avenger. I love my little old Hillman, and it's in pretty good shape. But it does need some work doing, and the chap I used to employ to do the bodywork in particular has now retired. So I've had to find another business to do that, and also I've had to find someone who can deal with a problem with the steering and brakes. And I'm about to get a quote, but I know the ballpark figure of the quote for sorting out some bodywork and sorting out the brakes and steering, and it's not pretty. It's going to be a lot of money. Many thousands. More really than the car is actually worth. But, you know, people spend more than a classic car is worth all the time. Otherwise they would never be a classic car. But it puts me in a bit of a financial pickle. Business has been a bit slack for part of this year, and we just don't have the money to spend. So I'm going to have to make some tough decisions, as they say, but let's make it positive. I've featured various equipment on my channel over the years, not all of which I actually use very much in my business. And now is the time, I think, to move on a few items that are taking up space and can help with this problem with the Hillman Avenger. I need to raise about at least, and I mean at least, £1,000 from selling off some equipment. So I'm thinking, what can I sell? What do I not really use, from 1 month to the next? And some ideas include possibly there's a Betamax SP machine I don't use, then possibly 1 or even 2 U-matic machines. That Grundig Panasonic G mechanism machine, the one with the on-screen graphics and all that. I had 1 good and 1 scrap for spares. I could move those on. That was the completely crazy, over-the-top Grundig Super VHS. I've got another Super VHS which I bought from new back in about 1992 or so. Panasonic NV-FS88. That's essentially not been used since we moved here about 11 or 12 years ago. So that could be moved on. There was the DJ CD, double CD deck. There was 1 good one and 1 scrap one. I could move those on if somebody's interested. And though it would pain me, I may, if I can pull enough heads together to do this, I may fix up one of my N1700 video recorders complete with AV output circuit. By the way, I've got some more of those PCBs on order from PCB Way. So I might even sell an N1700, and heaven forbid, if things got desperate, I might even have to sell an N1502 complete with AV outputs. But that would have to be a lot of money because they're extremely precious. They don't come up for sale. So I'm open to suggestions and offers on any of the kit I've been talking about. Oh yeah, another one possibly maybe the Toshiba mechanical Betamax machine, which I've featured a couple of times on the channel. It's a lovely machine. That's the one with all the chrome and woodwork, and it's a super machine. I'm looking at it now, but I don't use it for the business. So I'm not looking to sell things which I'm actively using for the business. I'm looking to sell some of the surplus things that really are just keeping the place a bit cluttered up. So let me know if you have any suggestions or offers, and let's see if I can raise ideally somewhere between £1,000 and £2,000 to go towards the Hillman Fund. Right, catch you later.